Hey everybody, happy Friday evening. Thanks for coming in. A little bit of a later start tonight. Had dinner tonight. Mrs. Flippin and I celebrated our wedding anniversary, which was actually on Monday. But for those of you who watched on Monday, you know why we didn't do anything Monday night. And we just wanted to go out and have some dinner tonight. We got back a little after 7, I guess. So I've had a few minutes to digest here. But motto, as they say, nice little hole-in-the-wall Italian restaurant, really tasty, local to us. Had a great time, but completely overate, feel sick. Mrs. Flippin, who was supposed to be down here, you see it's all black, can't muster the strength to get down here, so she is gonna probably be watching from up in bed. She's recovering from a feeding frenzy that we just had, but good food is just going to take a while to recover. So thanks a lot, everybody, coming in later in the evening. It's 8 o'clock here on the East. What's up, man? Dwellers Unite. There you go. Dawn is here, Queen of Canada. Welcome to the show, Dawn. Thank you for coming in. Hey, Jackie Jack, what is up, man? Jim, how are you? Howdy to you. Yeah, we need some Jiminy dust tonight, that's for sure. Please do, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up. Greatly appreciated. Florida man, couldn't remember your name. That Jim thing didn't say anything? Yeah, we need some Jiminy dust. Blazing Saddles, it's hysterical. How you doing, Postcard Guy? Welcome to the show. What's cracking? Hey, Purple Sorko. Good evening to you. Saying hi to Postcard Guy. Hey, Barbara. Good evening to you. Welcome to the show, and thank you for coming in later in the evening. So how was your week, everybody? How'd you do? I watched so many videos this week about eBay, problems, server things, servers being switched out, servers going down, complete blackouts with certain stores and all that. I mean, who knows? Maybe some of that is true, but it's one of those things like when you are down a little bit, it's tempting to buy into that stuff. I don't know if the videos are just made for sort of like entertainment purposes and to, grab people in to watch their videos, or if they really believe some of this stuff. I don't know if it is true. Like, I just wonder where the sources are, to cite. You don't have to cite sources in videos. You can pretty much come on and say anything. But I'll tell you what, it's been, although I didn't have any 0 days this week, which was refreshing, it's still been pretty low, and I'm waiting for the tides to turn. Hey, Connie, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in. But I there's no shortage, I'll tell you, of videos about what's wrong with eBay, all those kind of titles that you see people make videos about. I get sucked into them like everybody else. But it's great to see everybody. I did something also I haven't done in a long time. I'm sure almost everybody that watches the show is familiar with this, but if you're not, I wanted to show you really quick. Hey, Puddings, how you doing? Welcome aboard. You guys ever check out what they call sourcing insights on Terapeak? It's a tab under research, on the research tab, on the homepage, on the hub, seller hub. It's supposed to give you insights as to what is popular right now, what's being searched for. I haven't looked in this in donkey's years, and for some stupid reason, I went in a couple of minutes ago. I forgot to share this with you. I'm going to just put the screen up full and take my Can you hear me now? Hey, Maria, how you doing? Vintage Codger, what's up, man? Kelly, what's up? Can you guys hear me? Let me know if it came back. Maybe I have to be on the screen for audio to come back. Yes, sir. Audio drop, but I'm back now. There you go. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let me go back to the top. Sorry about that. I didn't realize I had to be in the photo or in the screen. All right. Long story short, because I just wasted 10 minutes of talking, but Terapeak, go into research. They have a field that's called sourcing insights. Take all this with a grain of salt. It's what they're telling us. But what I've done is I just went in and I wanted to see the top categories being searched on in eBay right now. And what I did is I filtered it on sell-through rate. So the highest sell-through rate through the least, the lowest. And this is the top 20 categories. And really the point of this exercise, kind of for me, it was a little bit humbling. I mean, I'm like a lot of us, heavily vested in this long tail ephemera stuff. And you can see when you go to the top 20, we're not represented at all, other than, I guess comics in a sense is kind of like ephemera, not really. Vinyl records, I do have a little bit of a presence in vinyl records. Books, I have a little bit of a presence in books. But take a look at what the hot things are. Not really a big surprise, right? Video games, well, tech stuff, cell phones, which is something I joke about a lot. Video games, golf clubs, which surprised me. I was saying before, if I wasn't audible, you didn't hear me say it, but golf clubs, I thought that was pretty weird. Athletic shoes in men's shoes. I would have thought women's shoes would have been more popular, but apparently I'm wrong. It's men's sneakers, basically. Collectible card games, action figures, dolls, and play sets. Just look at this. I haven't looked in this in a long time. And I just thought it was kind of intriguing. I do have some DVDs. They have a decent sell-through, as you see. T-shirts, I really don't dabble in any clothing. There's a bunch of, not surprisingly there, right? Coats, jackets, bags. Wristwatches is pretty high, which I didn't expect. The trading cards I know are hot. Clothes again, comics, vinyl records, which I do have a little bit of a presence in, dresses, and books. So I thought it was pretty interesting just to kind of see where most of us fall in this. You notice there's nothing in collectibles, my advertising or postcards as far as high sell-through rates. So it's not surprising that many of us that do this ephemera stuff, they don't turn over instantly. That's for sure. Like the bottom of this 20 is 1.8 sell-through rate. And you could filter on any of these things and it'll give you a different, by active listings and all that stuff. 59 million active listings in trading cards, books, tops, comics. So highly competitive fields, but decent sell-through rates. I just thought it was kind of interesting. Haven't looked at it in a long time. Thought I would just present that for everybody's, to take a look at. I'm sorry about the voice going out. Now I know why. So you have to have yourself in the little box. Vintage Codger, welcome. Postcard Guy, welcome. Maria, welcome. Need closed captioning. It's back. Yeah, that's it. Hey, Kelly, what's up, man? Dawn, CJ, how you doing, CJ? Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, he spends 45 minutes talking until he realizes. See, it wasn't my mic. I think when you do a share screen like that, you have to be in the screen. I took myself out to try to get more real estate for the screen, but I had to be in there. Sorry about that. It wasn't a microphone issue. Hi, Keith. How you doing? CJ, that one was terrible. Solid 20 minutes. Yeah, I know. Poor Don. He was rambling. That's why, say what you will, but I'm always heavily vested in my comments section. I'm always looking at it, always reading it, usually posting everybody's comments as well. Yeah, that was, it's happened a couple of times with him. But, things happen. You got some you were going to drop off. Golf. I know, golf clubs. That surprised me too. We all know I have a presence in dresses. Yeah, right. I did. I mean, like a lot of people probably that started. I used to, we used to sell, my wife's clothes. My mother-in-law would give us clothes and lots of shoes to sell. Clothes and hats. Yeah, not surprised that clothing is, a big item in eBay. I mean, a lot of people go to shop for clothing. That's why there's so many videos about it and so many people reselling clothing. I don't like doing clothing. Again, to each their own. I don't know how everybody else feels about that, but I think it's a safe assumption that most of us that are into the ephemera stuff probably aren't huge fans of clothing. And when I say clothing, I mean everyday stuff that, t-shirts you saw was right up there in those top 20. But really the only thing that I dabble in at all would be the vinyl records, which I do have, some. And what was the other one? Books at the end, the very last one. 20 out of 20. Yeah, I thought it was interesting. No, you'd be surprised. In fact, the fact that you like bluegrass and country, it's kind of a unique niche at this point. You'd probably do well. It's not like as saturated as some of the other ones. Good evening from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. How you doing, Judy? Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming in. I've heard cassettes in general are doing well. Absolutely, I agree, Purple Sorko. So there's always, gives and takes with all these different things. Yeah, they have high sell-throughs, but you're right. And in fact, I think on that thing that I showed you, did it have the return rate? I think that was one of the parameters that they showed. Again, it was just, I don't even know what inspired me to look at it, but I haven't looked at it in a while. I knew it was a field that you could look at and just kind of check out and see how, trends change. And all of the stuff that's been going on with eBay in recent weeks, months, whatever you want to say, just curious if there was any kind of a dramatic shift in, where people are looking to make the purchases. What's up, Cameron? How you doing? Yeah, for all you West Coast people, this is probably a good time, I guess, right? It's like 10 after 8 over here, but it's only 10 after 5 over there. So most of you guys are probably home from work if you work. We're close to getting home. I just wanted to make sure I came on. It's Friday night, so we had our dinner. We had a nice time. I'm about 2 seconds away from calling an ambulance because I feel I'm so stuffed. Like you ever eat so much that you actually get sick, like you feel sick from it? That's where I am right now. And we got back about an hour ago. I'm still in recovery mode, but it was a nice time. So how is everybody doing this week? You have a good week? Nostalgia Picker, great. How you doing? Welcome to the show. How does this week compare with last week as far as sales, as far as traffic, as far as activity? My offers to watches have sort of returned back to normal levels on a daily basis, which is good to see, where they were vanishing at an alarming rate. I would send out 10 offers or something, and usually you'll replenish those 10 within like a couple of hours. I was just sitting there with like the same amount for a while. That was like 2 weeks ago, I'd say. That's sort of rectified. Great to have you, Nostalgia. I'm glad it's a good time for you. Oh man, it really does. It was obscene. It was Italian restaurant. They start off with the loaf of Italian bread with like the oil in the dish, a little garlic, and then salt. So you're soaking up, just chowing down half a loaf of bread before your meal even arrives, or your appetizer even arrives. It was ugly. It was good, but I knew things were going south about an hour into the meal. Everything is up. Haven't been doing much listing, but you're fixing some old listings. Oh, that's interesting. What are you fixing? Usual suspects like photos and titles and pricing. And I have pretty much employed every trick known to man. The sales, the markdowns, like I said, which is kind of sales, coupons, volume discounts, sending out offers like a madman. Trying everything I know how to do. That's good, Jim. You listed your first print ad, you're clunking, so that's okay. Congratulations. Hope you have a lot of luck with them. Sales of real photos are strong for me. Still listing daily and sending US offers. Awesome. Great week last week. Sold your first postcard. Have less than 50 lists. Oh, cool. Yeah. The hook is in once again. Yep. Love those postcards. Although I haven't listed some in a while because I've been kind of focusing on print ads recently. Again, kind of back to print ads. More condensing SKUs and adjusting stock order. Okay, cool. Does anybody know on the 16th? I really didn't read anything about it. My understanding was I wasn't impacted, but does anybody know specifically what the category changes that were implemented were on the 16th? I think that was the date a couple of days ago. Is anybody impacted by it? Because I haven't seen anything different. I did finagle. I think I mentioned this last week. If I did, forgive me, but I did toggle off the option to be in the beta program for the international shipping thing, just because I'd seen a bunch of videos saying that supposedly had an impact on search. So I just toggled that option off for now. eBay Motors and car parts. Okay, cool. Which, as we just saw, was in that top 20 list of highly searched categories on the old eBay. But yeah, I guess this weekend is going to be, thankfully, I don't have anything going on as far as, last weekend was the big busy weekend with Mother's Day and birthdays and anniversaries. This weekend is quiet, relatively quiet. Probably just spend a lot of time down here listing stuff. Want to get some more postcards up because they're just so fast to get listed, get some more volume. Probably keep going with the print ads too. I went through a whole other magazine. The show that we did on Monday, the listing show, what was that, 1926? I finished that. Same thing, 60 something ads, I think, wound up being listed on that one. And I've just started a new one, same issue, Ladies Home Journal from 1929. And I just started listing a few of those now. You can't afford A3. Well, there you go. That's always, that's a great option if you can get to a library. Yeah, absolutely. What do you do? Save them on like a thumb drive or something? You picked up some free stuff. Very nice. Where'd you pick up some free stuff? You said from there. I'm sorry, I don't know what there is. Which categories for you? You've been using collectible merchandise advertising decade. You're going to go to more specific to what's on the ad. Oh yeah, I call that a black hole. When it just says like advertising 1920 to 1929, that's sort of a black hole. If you can apply it to a specific category, absolutely. Unless you're talking about individual store categories, which if that's the point, then never mind what I just said. Hey Ralph, how you doing? 2 weeks ago you started listing the same amount every day. 2 weeks ago you started listing the same amount every day. Some days you could list more than you call. After apps next day. I've had steady sales since. You list your sell, Ralph. That's what somebody once said. I do believe there's a lot to it. Consistency is always a good thing. Flash drive, very cool. At the local library, very nice. Oh, that's where you found the some free stuff. Yeah, like what? What'd you get? Getting weird messages about my band, concerning messages about band stuff. Listing categories. Yeah, if you watch, I know you've seen a few listing shows. You could pretty much put them in. What was I'm trying to remember what you just said. More specific, what's on the ad? Food, beverage, toilet paper. Yeah. Most of those things will slide right into a category. If you pull up the company name or something, you'll often find that there's a category dedicated to them. Jim is out of postcards. See, that is a tragic problem. I did experience that briefly, much to my chagrin, and vowed to never be in that situation. But long time no see, Jim. How you doing? Welcome to the show. You picked up some DVDs. Hey, I hear they sell well. Get them up. We have tons of DVDs I could get. There's this Black Abyss that you see back here behind Mrs. Flippett's area, just stacks still. I mean, much less than we used to have, but stacks of bins of just stuff from when we moved in, believe it or not, that we never really found a home for. And we're like, well, the basement was originally storage, essentially. So we've converted into this, maybe the last 4 years, 5 years, we've converted into this like office space sort of eBay stuff, baking stuff. Changes made to some advertising categories on eBay. Really? I'm going to have to read about that and see what was specifically impacted. Make an effort to list other ephemera besides just ads and postcards to hit more categories. That's a good practice. Pictures, trade cards, automobiles specifically advertising. Interesting. I list lots of automobile advertising. Yeah, I mean, I think in general, it's a good practice to be as specific as possible to help people find your stuff. I've heard a lot of people do pretty well with DVDs. Not huge money typically, right? But it's bread and butter. Gas and oil categories. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna unless you have an article you can point me to, postcard guy, I'll definitely look it up. I was told among some colleagues and I talking about this event before it happened. I'm like, it's a non-event. It's not really impacting anything we deal in. You didn't notice a change for advertising. Yeah, Dawn. Throw her right under the bus. We agreed that there was not going to be any impact to our stuff. Maybe I should have read a little bit. I didn't, admittedly, I didn't read anything about it. I just knew it was a day where I had hoped that after that day, like vis-a-vis the 17th, things would sort of pick up and get back to normal. I was presuming there was some sort of impact to, whenever they work on the back end stuff, there's usually some sort of an impact. One thing I definitely have noticed, it's still not fixed. It's so stupid. It makes no difference. But when I go to send an offer out on something, the box that comes up, it's like it's not aligned properly. It's cut off slightly on the left margin. I don't know if anybody else has seen that. And that's been the same I think since the 16th. Don't know what that's about. A GUI thing, not a big deal, but could be symptomatic of some bigger problems. We don't know. Coke and Pepsi collectibles changed a tiny bit. Not advertising specifically, like just because people love the Coke and Pepsi in general. Connie wishes eBay would have sent the email to everyone. You didn't receive it. I don't believe I saw anything either. But foolishly, I didn't even look into it, which I should have done. So I'll definitely check it out. Vintage road maps do well? Yeah. I've sold a couple of maps. Yeah, those things are still selling. My understanding is that they don't sell for big bucks, but it's a volume game, even with that stuff. If you could just get rid of them and you don't need them anymore, I mean, might as well make something from them. You scroll through all the category changes and all the advertising things were black, so it looked like they didn't change. Yours was like that a couple of days normal. Yeah, mine as of right before the show, I just sent a couple offers out at like 7:30, and it was still the same situation, just like slightly skewed to the left, kind of, and just that one box, nothing else. Everything else is fine. Weird. Oh, did you really? Oh, that's very cool, man. Yes, Jackie Jack fancies himself a World's Fair guy. The maps? No, I don't think I sold any maps from World's Fair. J.I., how you doing? It was mentioned on the eBay update board. Yeah, again, foolishly, I didn't look at any of this stuff. We were just chatting. Some people were chatting about the pending date, and it was kind of agreed upon that shouldn't be much of an impact for most of the stuff most of us sell. But obviously, we were very wrong. But welcome to the show, J.I. Oh, is that a link? Very cool. Let me go over to my other computer, courtesy of Dawn Wright. Thank you, Queen of Canada. Preview U.S. category changes. Books and magazines had some changes. Textbooks, which I used to have a bunch of. When I say a bunch, maybe like 100 textbooks, because my brother-in-law worked in a university for a little while, and he had access to some return school books and things that he could get for free. And he started funneling them my way, and some of them were really lucrative. I mean, I sold a few for over $100. They were nursing programs. But I think I got rid of just about all of those now. I wish I had some more of those. Free is always good. All right, yeah, there's a lot of categories. I'll check this out at my leisure. I don't want to bore everybody by staring at a lengthy document there, but thank you for that, Dawn. A lot of renaming of categories, yeah, which could always be an issue, especially if you're accustomed to listing things certain ways. You're searching for certain things, and suddenly they change and not there. A World's Fair book, I do have, Jackie Jack. In fact, I think I have that right here. I mean, this is a new book. It's not from the 30s. It's a newer book. It's like a resource for some 1939 World's Fair stuff. What year is this from? I don't know what year the book was, but it's modern. 88. But in really good condition. This was part of the lot. And it's nice. It has, did I show this to everybody? It has reproductions that are actual cards you could pull out of a lot of the World's Fair stuff from the 30s. Most of, if not all of these, I have and have probably listed at this point. But this is a cool little book. Nice resource. reading them all. Yeah, except for, I mean, advertising would definitely impact me and anybody else who does ads, I would think. Good sized box of all sorts of ephemera on Facebook Marketplace. Still have to rummage through. Very nice, Keith. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I did show that book. Oh, you have a book from the fair. That's fantastic. Very cool. But yeah, that's interesting. I will definitely give a gander at that link. Again, thank you very much, Dawn, for sending that. Other than that, really, status quo, listing, trying to be consistent with my listing in general. I have been personally going towards the ads again. It's funny, everything old is new again. It suddenly seemed like, something fun and exciting after, listing so many ads for so long. Stepped away for several months where I hadn't listed any. And it's kind of nice to get back into the ads. But I need to get back on the postcards now because it's been a while since I've listed a postcard. Plus 6-bit, which is the tool I use, a couple people use. It was down last weekend for a few days, completely down. And that's back up now. So that prohibited me from doing it that weekend anyway. Facebook and Macari can be great sources if you get past the nuts. Yeah. Yeah, Facebook, my Life magazine haul was from Facebook, so I can't say anything about it. I'm 1 for 1 on Facebook as far as pickups. I was thrilled with that. Not a huge change from us. Okay, cool. That's good to know. But it's a lesson learned for me personally, because I'm not going to just take the words of other people. It's not going to impact us. It's probably worth, taking a look for yourself. Just to be aware of stuff. It's going to impact your business, obviously. Thumbs up from Queen of Canada. Especially if the information come from... No, it wasn't just you, Don. There was a bunch of people. Everybody was like, it's a non-event. Don't worry about it. Postcard guy had a linen motorcycle postcard this week, sell for $145. That's awesome. Really? A linen postcard for $145. By any chance, was it from Indian Motorcycle? Because I've sold print ads for good money. A company called Indian Motorcycle. I wonder if that was similar on the linen postcard. Yeah, that's incredible for a linen card. Yeah, that's spectacular. Kevin does well. He is a sort of a boutique shop at this point, right? Which I think is fantastic. Always sourcing really nice, high quality, mostly photos. Marty, do you know when AP is coming back to YouTube? I keep asking on his channel. He likes my comment but doesn't say anything, and I'm not paying his Patreon. I don't know. No, I mean, he does. He's been releasing videos. He just did a video. Was it yesterday? Another one of those, what's wrong with my sales kind of things. No, I haven't heard anything specifically about when he's coming back. I'm sure he is. I'm sure most people that watch and follow Don know, he did this big move and he's still kind of setting up his new setup, his new environment to do videos and things. But no, I don't really have any idea when he's coming back regularly. And I do know on his YouTube, like when you see like a like or something, a lot of the times when it comes to YouTube, anyway, it's like his kids or, some of the employees do responses to comments and things. Do you miss him, Kelly? You missed Thursday Night Fix? That's a good question. Your niche market is 95% real photos. Yeah, fantastic. Auction. Was there a brand on it, Kevin? Was it Indian? I'm just curious. Again, the only reason I mentioned Indian is because that was the I think one or two of my ads for Indian motorcycles, early ones, it probably predates Lennon postcards actually, like 1907 or something, sold really well. I think we listed at least one or two on a listing show, as a matter of fact. Need to get back on Whatnot. Yeah. That's another thing I haven't been on in a while. I'm not buying postcards right now, so that was my primary reason. Although I used to get some records on Whatnot just for my own use, not for reselling. But that's another. It's kind of an oversaturated market. And it's slim pickings. Like it's pretty much dime a dozen records in most places, or really overly priced records, or stuff I'm not interested in musically. Have I ever sold automobile brochures from dealerships? You picked up a box full at the flea market for 10. No, but I'm sure they would do really well, especially if they're older. 1941 Indian. There you go. Yeah, Indian that's a bolo name for motorcycles, without question, to look out for. That was the print ad that I sold for not $145, but good money for a print ad. And it was in an auction. But that's awesome, man. Congratulations. Oh yeah, has it? Haven't been shopping on there. I still chime in. I love to like just hang out and say hi to Popeye and stuff. So I'll watch. And you never know, you're only an inch away from that that button. But I've been showing a lot of control when it comes to that because I want to deal with the stuff I have before I start buying more stuff. But I'm in there a lot just to watch anyway. Whatnot. That's another thing with Whatnot. Again, for me, the record thing used to be. I did some record Whatnots, which are okay. I have crates and crates of records that I really need to. Dawn, to her credit, so we don't feel bad like all we're doing is ripping on Dawn for saying there was no changes in this update on the 16th. But Dawn was saying to me, why don't you list some of the records you have just to break the monotony and do something different? And she's right. So I listed like 3 records today, which is nothing, but I have crates of them that have been sitting up on shelves. And I brought a few of them, broke my back doing so, but I brought I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 crates down that I'll peruse over the weekend. Maybe we'll get some of those up. Another endorsement for that A3 scanner, and a wonderful way to use it if you do sell records or albums or 45s or anything, is you could scan them on that scanner. Comes out really nice. The covers come out. The records themselves you can scan. It's just another an option for that thing. It's a great machine. I love how they look, how the records look. You are right. The Isle of Wight. Dawn is the Isle of Wight. Queen of Canada. Saja Picker has a few hundred records you need to list. Yeah, I mean, definitely. You really don't need to know much about them, Nostalgia Picker. I mean, like anything else, just do a search, on eBay, on Worthpedia, on Google itself. Just look to see what, you type in your name. A great resource if you're not familiar with records is Discogs, Discogs. I have a video about listing on Discogs, but you don't have to list. It's a very comprehensive database for records, all things music, not just records. And if you type the name, a title of an artist and the title of a record, you'll find out tons of information that you can copy and paste freely. Numbers, like specific numbers, matrix numbers on the albums. You'll find out all kinds of information. It's a really good resource. Check out discogs.com if you haven't been there before. Nostalgia Picker. I live in that site. And they ship media mail. One of the true definitions of media mail is a record. Your more Popeye style Whatnot sell decent lots. Yeah, I can't believe people are selling single cars and whatnot. Oh, the bigger lots are the way to go. From the buyer's perspective, that's for sure. You need to know some. You talk about records? To ship, yep. Oh, yeah, grading. I mean, again, there's Discogs if you want to check out just to get information about records. You're welcome. Grading, I got a link for you too. There's several grading standards. Excuse me. Here's what I'll get you. Check this one out, Nostalgia Picker. Here's a good site for anybody who's interested in records and learning how to properly grade them. Check that link out. Hey, Swamp Picker, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in late in the evening here. It's funny. It's only like an hour later than my usual Mondays, right? But it seems so late to go on at 8 o'clock. After a long day and a very filling meal, uncomfortably filling meal. Yeah, check that out. Hey, Jim, how you doing? I'm sorry, I missed Jim's comment. Is your scanner the 11, 7, or 12-inch wide? What a great question. If you click the link below this video, Jim, you'll see the exact scanner I bought. I really can't. Well, I guess I could do that too, but I'll have to go over to the other computer. So please hold. I have links to all this stuff. It's like I just copied and pasted. I have it on every video pretty much now. So if you ever want to look at any of the things I have that I talk about, there's links to them right below the video. If you look in the, I know nobody reads anything, but if you look in the description, 11.7 by 17, Jim. This is what I have. It's 11.7 actually, so it's just slightly smaller than the covers, but inconsequentially smaller. Thank you, Dawn, for saying that. Yes. Yes, grading is absolutely subjective. Always err on the side of caution. Don't, if anything, be conservative in your grading. It's probably good practice, especially on whatnot, on Discogs. eBay, you could get away with it a little more than you can on Discogs. On Discogs, they'll crucify you if you do something incorrectly. They're much more particular, let's say. The more the merrier. Cool, definitely do. Buzzard Bridge, Vancouver. Uh-oh, talking Canada. Yeah, it's just a fraction short of that. Screen size 11.7 by 17. Yep. Yeah, and like Kelly said, if you choose to order it, you get this box. It looks like you have like a 50-inch TV in there. It's very big, but very light. It's deceiving for such a big machine. It's like featherweight. It weighs nothing. You're welcome. Hey, Joe, no problem. Bit late, but we just started at 8 o'clock, so no big deal. Thanks for coming in. Burrard Bridge. All right. Let me get out of this. I have my scanner link instead of the chat up here. There we go. Anybody have any big goings on this weekend? Sourcing opportunities? Weather is pretty much a non-issue most of the country at this point. It's, at least decent enough to go outside and not freeze your sweet bippy off. And in most places, at least where I live, it's not too hot that you're dying either. It's kind of actual springtime weather here and past the middle of spring already. A little more than a month until summer begins already. You start a stack of Canadian for your next whatnot. Good stuff. Do you have a date in mind yet for the next whatnot? If you do, you're welcome to post about it here if you'd like. Keith says you have mulch to spread. Spread that mulch. That's an exciting weekend right there. I'm equally excited. We have to do some power washing in the front of the, we have this very large tree right in front of our house. And every season of the year, like you can't get away with it. In the fall, of course, it's leaves that just cut off. 2 vehicles are right under the tree. So we get crushed by leaves. In the early spring, we get like all the pollen, that green mist all over the car. Right now, we have like pieces of flour all over the place. Like the middle of summer is about the only time where there's nothing like falling out of the tree onto our vehicles. Well, anyway, with that said, the front of the house, like the front panel, the vinyl siding or whatever, we have to power wash it. So we have a power washer that we picked up a month or 2 ago. Finally, we used to borrow my in-laws all the time. Got sick of doing that. So we bought our own, and that's on the agenda this weekend. It's supposed to rain a little bit tomorrow, so we probably won't do it tomorrow, but Sunday. Mid-70s, upper 70s, sunshine. Good day to get up on the ladder and do a little power washing. So When I come in on Monday, either in traction or with several casts on, you'll know why. You'll say, he must have been up there on the ladder. It's hot in Oregon. Is it really? It's going to rain tomorrow. Yeah, same with us. 3,000 print ads are arriving tomorrow. Congratulations. You had your first Whatnot show on Wednesday. Went pretty well. Oh, yeah? What'd you sell? Like a potpourri of things, or potpourri is not the word. Potluck? What'd you sell? Flea market for you tomorrow. Temps in the high 80s. Wow, very good. I'm from Ontario. I've never actually been to BC. So Buzzard Bridge could very well be a real thing. You wouldn't know. You will go out, source and meet your service. I need to source your own basement. Absolutely. Same here. You're setting up at a yard sale tomorrow. Lots of dollar items. Got to blow some stuff out. Great practice, Judy. Out with the old, in with the new. You work for TD Bank, and a lot of your bank customers are from Ontario. Very cool. Hot Oregon. That's right. Did you really? Everybody jumping on the bandwagon with these print ads. Nobody was doing print ads on Whatnot, except me. I don't want anybody else doing. No, I'm like, I could care less. Flea market tomorrow. Son's birthday party. Oh, congratulations. He collects records, calls them vinyls. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, yeah, was it really good? Congratulations, man. Do you have another one scheduled? Or are you still recovering from your first venture? It's been almost exactly a year. I was approved on Memorial Day. So next week it'll be a year. That's hard to believe on Whatnot already. I was approved on Whatnot. Memorial Day weekend. I was approved for Whatnot. If you're not selling on Whatnot. Yeah, that's another option. I was going to say with the 6 crates of records, rather than list them on eBay, maybe I'll do another record thing on Whatnot. I did a couple of them that first, like maybe last June, July, something like that, when I was feeling my way on Whatnot and like what I wanted to do. And they went pretty well. They were okay. These are all, every single record that I have in the carts anyway, are all estate sale finds that I got, probably for like between $0.25 and 50 cents if you had to itemize them. I usually just buy stacks of them. And you could always find records at estate sales. Although it is typically, you're going to have a lot of Bobby Vinton and, the same people that we joke about. So those aren't the ones you want to sell. But you'd be surprised. You get some decent records in there. Got Saturday Night Fever up today. Listed that. Can't go wrong with that. Double album. Great condition, too. I did see that. Yeah, they have tipping on Whatnot. Good luck with that. So many great estate sales and yard sales nearby. You're trying to clear things out for a move, so you're in a fight against yourself. Yeah, no, I understand. You need to show some control. Stay strong. Oh, absolutely. Yes. Tijuana Brass, the whipped cream, legendary cover, but still sells. You laugh. That thing sells all the time, especially if it's in decent condition. We have I have trouble seeing. It's like a guy going like this is what it looks like doing, right? Is that correct? What does that signify? You can't say you've not considered taking the vinyls to Whatnot to get them all out. No returns. No, it'll not be the same money and Whatnot. Right. But, I mean, I'm just talking about myself with these vinyls, well, these records. I just want to get the space back at this point, honestly. I've had them for a long time. They've just been sitting there. I cherry pick, as everybody says. There's a bunch of records I've kept for myself from estate sales. But the Herb Albert, all that kind of stuff, that's a dime. The Barry Manilow, the one, Barbra Streisand, the one you see at every estate sale you ever go to. Something on Whatnot, for, I don't care if they sold for like $2-3 a piece just to get them out of here. Pay media mail. Now they have the media mail, I'm told, which wasn't the case last year. Jackie Jack on a print ad question. How do you sort your print ads? Oh, I don't. I just I grab a magazine. That's how I sort my print ads. I grab a magazine, pull out all the ads I like, scan them and list them. I don't sort them at all. It was a disco dancer. Oh, is that that's what this was? That's a disco dancer? If you say so. Okay, okay, we'll go with that. Yeah, me neither. When you were digging, you'd buy it in the dollar bins. You're 14, 15. I wanted to fill up a whole square on my calyx. You mean the whipped cream? Same here, Dawn, right? Absolutely. Yeah, I don't see much. I mean, this again, to each their own. I don't see much benefit in sorting. It's kind of a time suck to sit there and sort through. There's no, for me, I don't have to list 50 straight car ads and then 50 straight Campbell soup ads and then 50 straight Coke ads. I just, as they come up, I list them, which you've probably seen on the listing shows many times over this last year and a half almost. Uh-oh, you got a Kiss record. Did any of you guys check out the midnight? Mrs. Flipper just sent me a text that says, I think I might be dying. So she is in pain, ladies and gentlemen. Pain. Too much eating. Overeating. Did you guys check out the Midnight Special YouTube channel that I talked about with Kiss and so many other artists on there? A promo record for what album is the promo for? Yeah, there's no need to at all. If you choose to and you just like to have things organized, then that's fine. People have different methodologies when it comes to all that stuff. For me, I just grab a magazine. If you want to sort magazines, like keep all your lives together, let's say, and all your Good Housekeepings and all your Ladies' Home Journals, that's cool. Me, I just grab a magazine. Collection was your grandfather's. Maybe that's why you're more worried. Personal connections to inventory. Yeah, without question. Tugs at the old heartstrings. Paperboy does a lot of the same subject. 5 pages of Granddad whiskey. Yeah. Oh, you mean for Whatnot? You're talking about for Whatnot or for listing? For Whatnot, yeah, I did the same thing. I would do themes, if you will. Yeah, I had like all Christmas stuff or a bunch of lots made up with car ads or World War II stuff specifically. Yeah, that's the same with me. I thought you meant for listing on eBay. Yeah, for Whatnot, I think it's pretty cool. You can categorize them, break down the ads and put them into like bundles if you'd like, or you could just do a miscellaneous. Here in North Carolina, you'll find Andy Williams, absolutely. Tennessee Henry Ford, I have a bunch of. Andy Williams is a dime a dozen, especially Christmas albums. There's so many artists. I just have tons and tons. Bobby Vinton, for whatever. I sold, did I tell everybody? I think I did. What was it, like a stack of 60 Bobby Vinton records to one individual? I was so excited. And I got positive feedback. Heavy, but media mail. Got rid of them. But then when I went into the 6 bins earlier this afternoon, I found a whole stack, whole bunch of more Bobby Vinton. You can't get away from Bobby Vinton. Who's the Silver Fox? Not the Silver Fox. Because when we Charlie Pride albums. There's so many. Tony Orlando and Dawn, I have a bunch of. Barry Manilow. You tend to buy similar topics or eras, yes. Yeah, I love that channel too. Jump up and down. Yeah, that'll get it out. There she is, honey. I'm dying, as you see. Look, I'm like, self-combustion is a real thing. Black dot. Oh, absolutely. With the silver writing. They also have different makeup in that cover, like little slightly different makeup. Yep. Killer. Black Diamond is an awesome song. I was going through stacks, but pre-sorted though. Yeah, I think, didn't he buy them all? Themes. Yeah, themes. Again, choose your own method, but since yeah, that's a good idea. And I would, did you watch any of my Whatnots? I used to do a lot of them, and I kind of pulled back from it a little bit because I was giving them away for nothing, and I was getting frustrated because these were still good ads that I just had excuse me, that I was going to list. I'm like, hey, let me try to blow them out. But, and Kelly was the benefactor for a lot of that stuff, which I appreciate. But I would do themes, and I would even play music. Like if I did old 1930s ads, I'd have 1930s music playing in the background to kind of set a tone. I like doing all that stuff a lot. I really enjoy it. I enjoy the platform quite a bit. Yep, got to get some coffee. Charlie Rich, when you get behind closed doors, yes. And Charlie Pride as well. Charlie Pride's out there. A lot of country stuff. A lot of Johnny Cash albums are out there. But if you look like anybody knows records, Pickwick is like this Kmart brand. It's like a cheap brand. You'll see Pickwick. You'll see Elvis records on Pickwick. Johnny Cash on, even the Beatles are on Pickwick on the Hamburg stuff. It's like a cheap label. They kind of did reproductions on very thin vinyl and very flimsy things. Those aren't worth a lot of money. And people get sort of bamboozled. This, oh my God, it's an Elvis record. It's got to be worth a fortune. Or it's a, Pickwick. You'll see a lot of Pickwick. Stay away from Pickwick. I'm anti-Pickwick. It's a label. Pickwick. Hawaiian LPs. I sold, yes, Hawaiian LPs do well. Hawaiian 78s do really well. Old 78s from the 30s and 40s. I sold a book. It was like a box set. I think I talked about that too. I made it. I might have even shown that in What Sold video at one point, probably like a year ago. But that was really nice. I think it was like a 5 or 6 disc set, 78s, all in a nice like box set from 1944 or 45. The Hawaiian stuff does really well. Yeah, the ukulele music, all that kind of stuff. Very cool. Yep, I'm a big fan of Kiss. Early, again, we discussed. Up until Dynasty and then done. I love Dressed to Kill. I bought that new. I was a kid, but I bought that new at Corvettes. They might not have Corvettes across the country. Dynasty. Dressed to Kill has She, which is like my favorite song. Rock Bottom, Two Timer, Getaway, Peter Criss song. So many good songs. Rock and Roll All Night. Rock and Roll All Night is on that album too. You're ready to milk the cow as long as you could. Yeah, I know. Well, you were one of the few that, not the few, but you were one of the ones that recognized the value in it. So you'll reap the rewards. But yeah, I was getting frustrated by the lack of, I think it's a comprehension thing. People didn't realize what they were and the value in it. So that's definitely becoming more of a, people are more into it now, which is cool. You planned on doing music in your BG, but dropped the ball? In your BG. I'm terrible at these abbreviations. You didn't mean that to sound what? Milk the cow? No, I know. When the gravy is flowing, you put your bowl out, right? Ralph Funk asked, do I have any recordings of my own band? Oh my God, I have 40 years of recordings of bands, of me playing in bands. Yeah, I have lots of stuff. Background. Oh, okay. Music in your background, but drop the ball. I'll tell you, it sounds so nice from my end, but I know from watching other Whatnot shows, it's always like garbled and barely audible. So I think I put too much effort into that. I really wanted to make it a comfortable, enjoyable environment. I still do, but the music isn't as big as I thought it would be. You can't really hear it. Like here, it sounded beautiful. I had this really cool, 30s like bebop stuff going with the 30s ads. I thought it fit the motif perfectly. And then I realized, that people listening could barely hear it, or watching the show could barely hear it. The Mike Nesmith. Oh yeah, that was that was a really spontaneous thing. I just like that song. I was bummed out when he passed. Very much so. Yeah, of course. Who didn't love the Monkees, right? I remember getting a double Monkees greatest hits off of KTEL on TV. Screaming to my mother, please, can we buy this? Can we buy this? It was either 8-track or the double LP. I got the double LP. I'd love to. I don't know why I can't find that. I have to have that still. There's no way I would have gotten rid of it. But I haven't been able to find it in 40 years, probably. You say 40 years, it sounds so long. All of a sudden, it's not. It's weird. Oh, the music did sound good on mine? Oh, thank you. Well, then I take it all back. You see, you can't watch replays of your own videos. That's the one thing I didn't like. Of your own, not videos, your own Whatnots. So I just assumed that it was the same lousy sound on everybody's. Is there only monkey? Yeah, Mickey is left. Yep. Hey, he's the monkey. KTEL in the 70s, absolutely. Always had the commercials. Absolutely. At 9, I feel terrible. It's almost 9 o'clock at night. She's writhing in pain. Let me tell you though, just she had the most delicious. I tasted a little bit. She insisted I taste it. Fettuccine Alfredo, homemade fettuccine, wafer thin, very eggy tasting, melt in your mouth, with a really nice Alfredo sauce and some thinly breaded, very thinly cut chicken cutlets. Phenomenal. But she ate like a third of it and was ready to explode. Me too. I had chicken parmesan, nothing super exciting, but it was just way too filling. After the half a loaf of bread we both consumed. Oh yeah, those record clubs, you'd sign the back. Even into like the CD era, they still had that. The something Random House. Random House? No. Heck, Random House's books, right? What was it called? The thing in the back of a magazine you'd fill out. You could pick like 50 albums and pay a quarter or something, but you were really signing up for a subscription basically to keep agreeing to buy a record at full price every month for the next 25 years. What the heck was that called? Not Random House. Columbia House. Damn. Columbia House. Creedence on KTEL? Sure. I know, honey. Me too. I'm dying. Oh, Columbia House. Absolutely. Yep. 10 records for a penny. But again, the caveat was you had to buy like for the next 5 years, you had to buy a record every month or something for full price. Columbia House. Yes, CJ. Thank you. I said Random House. Random House's books, right? Columbia House. It was at the time, but if I never eat that again as long as I live, well, at least let me strike that. If I don't eat that again tonight, I'd be very happy. Right, and if you didn't return them, you got charged. Oh yeah, all kinds of little gotchas in there. Nothing in this world is free. But yeah, oh yeah, please. I used to fill out a bunch of stuff, and it was like a giant list of records. You just tick off what you wanted, and they'd come to you, 3 months later in the mail, but you'd get them. Remember KTEL, the big thing was if you could get a record that was they would hype the fact that it's from the original artists. Because many times you get these compilations and it wasn't Barry Manilow singing I Write the Songs. It was some other guy singing it. I hated that. A lot of people got burnt by those things. Those KTEL records would often be knockoffs. They'd be like popular songs of the month or whatever, but it would be other artists. So they made a big deal out of saying, the original artist. Wow. A couple people got screwed with that one. Then, I didn't want to mention that, but then on the way home, because we were conveniently like half a mile from our favorite ice cream place, which I showed you guys a couple shows ago, Brewster's. Let's just stop at Brewster's before we go home. And that was the finishing touch. It's going to land both of us into the ICU tonight. You waited and you had to buy like 25 CDs for full price. It was cheaper than buying a subscription. Yeah, I was gonna say, I remember they went into, it was albums for me, but then when CDs came out, they did the same thing with CDs. What's up, Jeff? How you doing? Good evening to you. It is going to be an early morning, and that's why she's not there doing the cookies right now. It would have been a relatively easy evening, but it's just not happening. No, she hasn't tried that, but she takes the lactose pills that you can take prior to consuming lactose that you're not supposed to eat. They help a little, but she's still like her belly blows up from it's not even funny. It's really painful. You've been on YouTube and realized, wait, that ain't the original. Yeah, exactly. A lot of those records that you'd get on TV, it was other people doing songs. They'd scroll the list of all the songs. And let me see who's going to remember this. Keith should remember this. Jackie Jack will remember this. Florida Man Jim might remember this. You guys remember Freedom Rock, the commercial for Freedom Rock? I did a spoof on that when that commercial was on. Me and a couple of buddies, we did this. I had a video camera. We did a whole spoof on Freedom. Is that Freedom Rock, man? Well, turn it up, man. I had like Freebird, and it was so cheesy. You may have just ordered a McFlurry. Oh, Cool Whip. Oh, yeah. Awful. Lactate. Yeah, whatever. Exactly. It's like a little white. It's like a piece of chalk, basically. Excuse me. That you're supposed to eat it preemptively. Jackie Jack, turn it up, man. Is that Freedom Rock? Absolutely. I knew you would, Jim. Did you really? The Freedom Rock cassette? Commercial was hysterical. I don't remember what other songs on, but I Freebird blasting. It was just comedic. Very, very funny. You get a tub of chocolate ice cream full daily, so you have to take a couple more of that. Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. Flavored chalk. So will like Tom, all that stuff. Isn't it? Is it zinc? I don't know what the main ingredient in that stuff is, or like sodium bicarbonate or something. It is essentially chalk with artificial coloring and flavoring. But whatever works, right? Sometimes you need those things. Thank goodness they have those pills for us overeating fools. And then of course the justification process kicked in. I'm like, honey, look, it's our anniversary. When do we go out and eat like this? Like a couple of gabons, as they say in the old country. But it didn't work. We still felt awful. Absolutely awful. You went to your grandparents last weekend for Mother's Day. They insisted on pizza and cheesecake. A quick ride home. Yeah. Goody powders are no better. Don't know what a goody powder is. It's all my fault. Even though we said we're not going to get ice cream, guess who was driving out of the restaurant? Not me. Usually do drive. She got behind the wheel. Instead of making a left to go home, let's make a right towards the ice cream place. Convenient. No comment. Yeah. Ice cream, I'll tell you, it's funny because we had the conversation prior to going to dinner, how ice cream is pretty much a no-no at this point. Like, she's like, you know what? I got to put the white flag up when it comes to ice cream. Let's make it like a once a century, once every 3 months. We'll do. It lasted like an hour later after dinner. There we are, wolfing down a giant, big old thing of ice cream. Goody powder is Southern aspirin. Get out, really? I have never heard that expression in my life. And I lived in Florida for a while. Yeah, I'm sure. Or pizza. Or bagels. No, I haven't heard of that. Goody powders for headaches? No. Sounds like an old print ad, though. What is this goody powder? Is it really aspirin? Did you guys have St. Joseph's aspirin? The stuff that tasted like orange? I don't know. In the midst of sucking it down, you feel really good about yourself, but the repercussions can last for hours. That's the problem. Hours. How dare I what? Yes, thank you. It was on Monday. We went out for dinner tonight. It's a white envelope of powder that you shoot down with a drink. Wow, okay. Like Pepto-Bismol almost? Plop, plop, fizz, fizz? I just know. I haven't heard of it, actually. Oh, well, right now we're going to roll off into the sunset. Let me just tell you. Mrs. Flippin and I, we are a couple of hurting fools. It was good. It's one thing to be hurting after a really good meal, right? Like, it's not like we went to McDonald's and pigged out and feel sick. You would expect to feel sick after McDonald's. But after having a really good Italian meal, like Kelly said, it's true. Sometimes it's a little worth it because we had a very enjoyable meal. And a delicious thing of ice cream, I might add, but just, way over the top. No, yeah, not on a horse. Not on a horse. Those ponies are lethal. We love wings with blue cheese, but that's a once in a blue moon meal. That knocks you down for a couple of days. Oh, yeah. Oh, would you just, what? I'll keep stump for Dawn's sake. Mrs. Flippin, are we going to bed? I'm waiting for her to pull to send out the fishing line. Say, come on upstairs, honey. I really am hurting, folks. Seriously. It's going to be a couple of Tums. If not Tums, we have something like Tums. I don't know what they're called. It's like poor man's Tums we have upstairs. Those chalk-like tablets that come in purple and pink and orange. And probably popping a couple of them momentarily, as a matter of fact. Bleach. Oh, black. Yeah, blue cheese vis-a-vis mildew. Yeah, I know. We're probably going to wrap it up, folks. Quick show. Sorry about that, but I just want to make sure I came on because it is Friday. Tums. Yeah, we don't have Tums. We have poor man's Tums. I don't know why we have poor man's Tums. They were on sale at like Costco or something, like a tub of, 5,000 Tums. That'll outlive most of us. Unless we keep having ice cream every night. Then they'll be gone really quick. Thanks for coming in, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Hope you make a lot of money. Get a lot of listings up. Hope you don't eat too much ice cream. Yeah, exactly, Ralph. I'm done. I'm toast over here. Don't have ice cream much anymore, but sitting here having hot tamales, candy, grandkids. Okay, very good. That would absolutely land me in a hospital. If I was to have that right now, that would be the end. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks very much for coming in late tonight. I'll see you on Monday night. And stay away from that ice cream. Goodbye.